Och. Hi fellow dog fanciers, welcome back to a new video. Recently I was googling something and I got the random idea to check what are the most frequently asked questions about whippets, and I decided to answer them today. But before that, if you're new here, I'm Adi, I've had whippets for 15 years and I'm currently owned by 8 of them. So I make breed specific videos and sometimes others on dog and animal related topics. If you enjoy this type of content, you want to learn more about the breed, or you want to know that you're not alone in your love and passion for whippets, subscribe, support the channel and join our growing whippet family. Let's now get into this Q&A. I know I've answered some of those questions in previous videos, but it doesn't matter. Whippets are short-haired, clean dogs that don't shed as much as other breeds, but they still do, and along with dead hair, they will also leave dander around your home. They're not a good match for people allergic to dogs because they're not hypoallergenic. I prefer to call them companions, partners in crime, best friends rather than pets. But yes, for those of you who have done your research, have gone through all the checklists and believe a whippet will be a perfect match for your lifestyle, household and personality, yes, whippets make the best pets. Once they have matured, they are quiet and calm, cat-like dogs that are ready to join you for whatever activity you will offer next. No matter if it's cold and rainy and you want to stay home and read books all day, or the weather allows to go for a long walk or run, they're in for whatever as long as they can keep you company. Of course, just like any other breed, they're not for everyone. You should not limit yourself to a single source of information. In fact, you should soak up all of the information you can find, speak to as many whippet owners you can, and interact with as many whippets as possible before you get involved with them or any other breed for that matter. And I have this very unpopular opinion that whippets are not the best dog for most first-time dog owners, unlike marketed otherwise. Shoot me for it, I don't care, but I've reached this conclusion years ago. Let me know if you want me to make a more detailed video on why I think so. They're some of the smartest dogs I can think of, but they're not always willing to do everything for you or whatever you ask from them. That's why they usually end up lower on the stupid smartest dogs list along with other sighthounds. Think of a whippet like of this very independent creature that has a vision of its own on what they want to do and how. Your alternative ideas don't always have value, so sometimes they will not care about them. But trust me, they can outsmart you on a daily basis. I have a whole video dedicated on whippets and cats, but in short, it is possible, and the best way to maximize the chances of a whippet and a cat living together safely is to have the cat first and get the whippet puppy later, or an adult whippet that is proven to be cat safe. They can also live with other small animals and toy-sized dogs with the same method. No. especially for people who are used to more trainable breeds, working dogs, hunting dogs, or any other type of dog that was originally bred to work with or for humans. And also for those who believe they can be the alpha of their whippet. Give a whippet a few months' time and you will be put in your place. Your pink bubble will burst, your alpha ideas will shatter, and oh, it will be painful. Having a sighthound is like a partnership where you have to make adjustments and fit as per their nature and needs, and not a game of who will be on top. Hopefully, you'll come to your senses before you've ruined your relationship with your dog. Even for me, after 15 years of experience and methods I've found that almost never let me down, whippets can be difficult sometimes. To make them easier to work with, you have to find a way to show them value in what you ask of them or what you want to teach them. Value bigger than their desire to do something else or show you the middle finger. You have to find what motivates them: food, toys, a particular game perhaps, or love. And especially with young whippets, you have to learn to act like a clown to make yourself less boring. In short, the working formula is: arm yourself with a lot of patience, always offer something that is valuable in return of cooperation, and accept that some days will be better than others. They can be very lazy, especially once the crazy puppy and teenage stages are over. They love to sleep or just chill on a bed or under a blanket when it's cold, and on rainy days you will forget that you even have a dog. But even so, most healthy whippets are ready to break out of laziness as soon as you offer them some fun activity and if the weather allows. They're not aggressive by nature, and in general, they're not prone to such behavioral issues. But they are sensitive, emotional dogs, and if a whippet starts showing such tendencies, it's either due to bad genetics as a result of unethical breeding, after being attacked by another dog, or mistreated. One of the biggest misconceptions when it comes to whippets that is usually spread in those random internet articles written by someone who has no idea what a whippet is, or by backyard breeders and puppy mills that want to sell their puppies as quickly as possible, is that they don't shed like at all. And I cringe when I hear that. They shed, though it's not as much as some other breeds, and you can easily manage it with rubber brushes, gloves, or one of these toys that do magic. Whippets are rather quiet, however, some of them are very talkative and like to tell you how wrong you are all the time. Depending on your household, the habits you've created, and the area you live in, some whippets might bark to alert you if there is an intruder on your property or if there is someone passing down the street. But in general, they're definitely not loud dogs. Water is a hit or a miss with whippets. Some hate it, from the idea of being close to a lake to the smallest rain droplet touching their nose. Some tolerate it and don't mind to be wet, and others absolutely love it, like our puppy Eris. You'll never know what type of whippet you have until you give them the opportunity to be around water. one of my favorite questions. They do not. Not at all. You know how some people claim their dogs don't smell because they're so used to it and they don't notice anymore? But the second someone walks in their house, they can immediately smell the dog. Yeah, that's not the case with whippets. My whippets get a lot of random fanciers whenever we walk outside, and as soon as they get close and try to cuddle the dog, they are in shock because that's the first time they meet a dog that smells of nothing. And this reaction gives me some sort of a special joy every time. They can also pick up the fragrances from their surroundings. Let's say you've just washed the sheets and your whippet lies in them, or someone who just sprayed perfume has cuddled your whippet. Well, that's what they're going to smell of for the rest of the day. The bad news is if they play with a stinky dog or they roll in something that's nasty, they will smell of this for the rest of the day or until you wash them. And I think that's enough questions for today's video, or basically there are not so many more that are so frequently asked or they repeat themselves. At some point in the future, I will make the same video but for whippet puppies. So I wish you a lovely weekend and a fantastic week afterwards, and I will see you next Friday with a new one. Bye bye!